Alright guys, this is Kev Dog Sports here, coming back to you today with another video. So today we're going to be going over OPS Plus and ERA Plus. And the reason I have a bell curve on screen here is because that is very similar to how OPS Plus works. So OPS Plus basically just takes the average in a given year and standardizes that to 100. So if you have an average OPS, you're going to have OPS Plus of 100. And if you say have an OPS plus of 120, that means that you're 20% above the average. Let's say you have an OPS plus of 90, then you're 10% below average. So that's basically how it works. It takes your OPS and then just compares it to the average in a given year. So I'm going to go here to the OPS plus formula, and you can kind of see how this is calculated. So basically it works pretty similar. It adds your on base and slugging to get your OPS, but then compares that to the league average. And the star down here is just telling you that it's slightly adjusted for park factors. And all that's saying is, as we know, not all MLB parks are created equally. Some parks, like Yankee Stadium, are easier to hit home runs in, and some parks, like the San Francisco Giants Park, is harder to hit home runs in. So all that's saying is we adjust these stats to the league average, and then we times it by 100 to standardize it. So I think it's pretty straightforward what this formula does. But if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. And then ERA plus works very similarly. It takes your ERA, compares it to the league average, and adjusts for park factors. And also in this league average ERA, the ERA will be adjusted for park factors. So if you're screwed by, you pitch in a park where it's very easy to give up home runs, like let's say Coors Field, it will factor that in. That's pretty much what that's saying. And then I'm going to give an example on how this stat is useful. So let's look at a player like Mike Mussina. I think this is a great player to look at it as an example. He's a 3.68 career ERA. On paper, that's not that great, especially not for a Hall of Fame pitcher with 82.8 career WAR such as himself. And if we go down, we look at some of his seasons, some of these might jump out. Like you might go, okay, he didn't really have many sub 3 ERA seasons, including this season right here, 1996. He had a 4.81 ERA. That's not great. But then if you look at the ERA plus, you'll actually see it was above average. He was 3% above average that year. And you're probably wondering, how is he above average with 4.81 ERA? Well, unfortunately for Mike Mussina, he happened to play in the steroid era, where hitting was super juiced and pitchers didn't have great ERAs. So a stat like ERA plus is great. So if I sort by his ERA plus, you can see that Mike Mussina actually in most seasons he played was extremely above average. But if you just look at his raw ERA throughout the seasons, like if I sort by them, it's not that impressive on its own. So ERA plus is great because it gives a lot of context to certain players that on paper their stats might not jump out. I'm gonna look up another one real quick. I'm gonna look up Cy Young, really old player. As you can see here, he put up really insane ERAs every year. But let me just pick a random one. So this year he had a 1.97 ERA, but only had a 136 ERA plus. In today's game, that would probably get you near 200 ERA plus. But back then, the pitching was so dominant that 1.97 was really good. It was 36% above average, but it wasn't like generational good. We go back to Mike Mussina. So let me try to find like a comparable ERA plus. Okay, 133. That's about 136, about the same. In the same year that Mike Mussina and Cy Young had about the same ERA plus with 133 versus 136. He had a 3.5 ERA compared to that 1.9 one we saw earlier. So this is really good because it puts the historical context into stats instead of just blindly trusting them. And you can do this with OPS plus as well with hitters. So I hope this clarified why OPS plus and ERA plus are useful. Now when you're looking at a player, you want to determine if they're good. Just go look at their ERA plus or OPS plus. Let's go look at Shohei Ohtani. He's one of the best players in the modern game. You would imagine he has a really good OPS plus. And yep, he has a 190 OPS plus, which is insane. That tells you he's 90% above the league average, which, I mean, you would expect that. He is the best player in the game right now. But yeah, you can see how he does compared to the league average in each year, and which is really useful when judging a player. So, like I said, go look at your favorite players and see what their OPS plus was last year and in past years in their career. Anyways, guys, could you do me a favor? Go smash that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll be seeing you later.